I remember sitting here in the studio with a new group of students going over production equipment here in the studio, and one of the students said to me, "Hey, Mr. Banks, look at the TV. A plane just crashed into the World Trade Center."
Just in, you were looking at obviously a very disturbing live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center. CNN Center right now is just beginning to work on this story, obviously calling our sources and trying to figure out exactly what happened, but clearly something relatively devastating happening this morning there on the south end of the island of Manhattan.
In fact, I remember one of the students saying, "My gosh, what did somebody have a heart attack?" Or everybody was kind of confused. Even on CNN, as we turned the volume up when we started to watch the television, we didn't realize at the time what was really going on.
Did you see what happened, sir? Did you see what happened? What happened?
Well, I was in the past train, and there was a huge explosion sound. Everyone came out. A large section of the building is blown out, around like the 80th floor.
Was it hit by something, or was it something
it was inside?
It was inside.
Because it looked out, everything was coming out.
After several minutes, as we continued to try to get information, we watched CNN. They seemed to even be confused. At first, it kind of seemed like this was an accident of some type. We were pondering and discussing amongst each other what could have happened to the pilot, maybe a heart attack or seizure, or how could this possibly have happened.
I say the whole takes about, looks like 6, 7 floors were taken out. And there's more explosions right now. Hold on, people are running.
Hold on just a moment. We got an explosion inside.
The building's exploding right now. You got people running up the street.
Okay.
Hold on, I'll tell you what's going on.
Okay, just put Winston on pause there for just a moment.
Okay, the whole building just exploded some more. The whole top part.
Okay.
The building's still intact. People are running up the street.
We're getting word that perhaps...
Okay, hold on. The people here everybody's panicking.
All right, Winston, let me put Winston on hold for just a moment.
Okay, I don't know how much longer we're staying. I'm inside of a diner right now.
Well, Winston, you know what? If you could give us a call back, I just don't want to panic here on the air. Let's just take some of our pictures from News Chopper 7. Now, one of our producers said perhaps a second plane was involved, and let's not even speculate to that point, but at least put it out there that perhaps that may have happened. Now, if you look at the second building, there are both Twin Towers now are on fire. Now, this was not the case, am I correct? A couple of moments ago. This is the second Twin Tower now on fire.
And within several minutes later, we saw the second plane hit the Tower 2. And at that time, it became pretty clear that it wasn't an accident.
I was in 2nd grade, and it was my birthday. I was sitting in Bailey Lake Elementary School, and I had no idea what was going on. That was one of the elementary schools that didn't tell us, so some people got sent home, but we were basically clueless. So, since it was my birthday, I was going out to eat with my parents. After school, they came to come and pick me up, and I got in the car, and they said there was a terrorist attack. They weren't the kind of protective parents that showed the world for me. I knew what that meant, and it terrified me. I was like 7 at the time. I thought I was going to die. But I still went to my birthday dinner. But to me, 9/11 was a wake-up call to the country. It also showed me that America was strong, and it gave me more faith in humanity. It surprised me how much people reacted to it and how many people tried to help the families affected, and it just makes me proud to be an American.
it's just so surprising that, you know, being that little child, I could not understand the absolute horror that I just witnessed. It took years to really understand and kind of grow into a perspective out of 9/11 that we could die at any moment in our lives. It could just be done like that. And in a sense, even after all the hurt and pain that it caused, there's a sense of growth there. If you can look at your life and say, this day might be my last day on earth. Today, right now, could end in a second. Better make it count is, I guess, what I've got out of 9/11.
When something as terrible as a terrorist attack happens, and you see that the United States can come together as one like we have, I think that's really cool. So that's what September 11th means to me.
To me, 9/11 means heroism. If you think about the people that were on the planes that crashed into the Pentagon, the World Trade Centers, the heroism that they showed trying to steer the planes as far away from the Capitol building, the White House, and trying not to crash into the Pentagon. I just think about them and how they tried to keep the lives of other people safe while they knew theirs were going to be ended.
It was a time of remembering. You remembered who your family was, who your friends were. You felt the same pain that they felt. Everyone could relate, and everyone felt sympathy for each other and for what just happened.
Our generation really lost its innocence when that happened, and we were all so little when it happened, and now nothing you see in the world, it's all bad. And to me, 9/11 really brought that on.
A lot of people lost a lot of family, and that's really when the whole country came together to help everyone who was hurt or damaged and wounded. And
it's like a horrible date that, just a terrible event that happened in our past. So basically it's just a day where I feel everybody can come together and really appreciate all that we have.
And what it means to me now is, I think about it more in terms of what a terrorist really tries to do. And a terrorist, in my mind, tries to alter your life in some way, shape, or form. And so I feel as though this idea of, okay, 9/11 changed things. Okay, yes, it changed things, but if it changes your mindset, if it changes your mentality, then the terrorists have achieved their ultimate goal in terms of changing things. And so I try to keep things in that sort of perspective, and then also try to keep true to America's core democratic values, and really looking at what Benjamin Franklin had once said, that those who sacrifice liberty for the sake of security deserve neither liberty nor security.
I understood that terrorists had hit the World Trade Center, and that everybody didn't know what was going on, including the government. And that was just really frightening. And then I remember the next footage that came on was of firefighters pulling out a body from the rubble. And honestly, I'll never be able to forget that. It was frightening.
I remember when 9/11 happened, I saw a lot of pictures of Osama bin Laden, and he looks like a crazy witch, kind of. And I don't know, I saw the first picture of him, and it kind of haunted my dreams for a lot of the years, and I don't know, sent me into a depressive state. Couldn't really sleep that well, but I don't know, it just kind of makes me emotional to talk about it.
Yeah, over the years I kind of learned to understand terrorism and how it's always on the minds of everyone in America, and now we're on even more edge because they're trying to strike again or something like that.
The trade centers were destroyed. A lot of people just were surprised. I mean, America was the superpower of the world, but here we are, covered in rubble. A lot of people just dedicated themselves to just rebuild, and still today we are.
Random. I didn't cry at first. I sat mesmerized by the billowing gray smoke in a brighter than blue sky, and by the anchorman's voice calmly proclaiming terrorism, pulling me across the miles, so I was there. I felt the heavy lump in my stomach fall as the soaring building collapsed, exploded, and unleashed sorrow across a city, a nation, a people, usually protected from such grief. Not anymore. I didn't cry until the names came sliding across the bottom of CNN. Random names. Names I didn't know how to pronounce or spell. Names with ages from 3 to 73. Names of mothers, sons, aunts, grandfathers, toddlers. Names I wouldn't remember, yet their stories never forgotten. The names struck, and I cried. For them, for me, for all of us.